Welcome to Fans of the Forge. I'm Sean. Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm Chris.
You're Chris. All right.
And we're missing Teresa again for this episode. Yep. Again, soon to return.
Great. Can't wait. Have the crew. Get the crew back together.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, what you drinking?
What am I drinking? Oh, I'm drinking this little bad boy right here is called Lizard King Mosaic Hopped Pale Ale by Pipeworks Brewing Company.
From Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, and there's a pretty crazy artwork on it.
Yeah, check that out. That is wild.
Really dope artwork on this thing. I that's why I bought it, because when I go to the store, I like to see the little cool artworks they have, and it's tasty. It's really good. It's like an IPA with almost like a fruitiness to it. The Mosaic hops add a little to it. So
maybe I'll drink that next week.
Yeah, we got some in there. I like it, so I definitely recommend that. That's what I'm drinking. Lizard King.
Nice.
Sean, what you drinking?
I'm drinking Shipyard Summer Ale. It's got a lobster on there. Look at that. Pairs perfectly with a picture of a lobster. Goes good with a beer glass, some flip-flops, and an umbrella.
Oh, it's good beach beer.
So if you're into feet, this beer is for you.
Foot fetish.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there.
It is on there.
If you want some stinky flip-flops, go with this beer too. That's pretty good though.
Shipyard makes some good stuff. So.
Nice, easy drinking.
Yeah.
Perfect summer. All right. Anyway.
That's what we're drinking.
That's what we're drinking. So let's move on to Forged in Fire this week. Wrap up Season 6, Episode 24, The Boar Sword.
The Boar
Sword. So, contestants this week. Justin Kirk, full-time smith, 20 years of experience.
What?
Yeah. Somehow he has 20 years of experience. And he said he got into blacksmithing by taking class with Forged in Fire winner Theo Nass.
That can't be right. The dude's he's younger than us.
I don't know. Because the math wasn't working out for me either when he was saying...
He definitely has not been full-time for 20 years. He was like,
several years ago I got into blacksmithing by taking a class with Theo Nass. I'm like, well, how do you have 20 years experience? I don't know.
Anyway.
Maybe he had like the Lego guy, like the pirate with the little sword, and he like did stuff with it. I don't know.
Either way, we almost met him when we went to work with Theo that time, and I've been following his stuff for a while. He makes some good stuff. Yeah. He puts it up on Instagram. Big fan. Who else we got?
We got Isaac Grunstra, part-time smith, 9 years of experience. Jonathan Caruso, part-time smith, 6 years of experience.
Wait a second. Jonathan Caruso. The Jonathan Caruso that I met in Maine a couple weeks ago?
That's the same one.
The same one?
Yep. So he's someone local just over the border in Massachusetts.
No kidding.
Yep. No kidding.
Interesting.
And then we finally have Angel Medina Jimenez, full-time smith with 12 years of experience.
Nice. Very
good. Our guys are outside in this construction-looking zone. They got, signs and equipment, heavy machinery around and whatnot. Well, you know what that means. It means coal forges.
Of course.
Yeah. And hand-cranked coal forges, of course.
That's the worst.
And then Will says, all right, we're giving you this to work with. And here comes a backhoe, dumps out a bunch of shit. And it's just like, some scrap steel. But, obviously you can take something hardenable out of there. So what do they all go with? They go with coil spring. Everyone goes with coil spring.
Okay.
And they have to make a blade in their signature style between 8 and 10 inches in length.
Okay. So it's a little, it's still not easy doing a hand-crank coal forge.
But they're not throwing some weird stuff at them.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a little bit more freedom in what you make.
Right. So Justin starts with getting his coal forge going. He said it's been about 10 plus years since he's been using a coal forge.
Damn. Is he like Benjamin Button or something?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like Terminator 8 or something like that. And then at one point he burned a tip of his steel while making jokes about how hot it is near the fire.
Oh, no.
Hey, by the way, guys, fire's hot. And then he's like, oh, crap. Pull it out. It was doing, sparking and shit. But it wasn't too bad. It was just a little bit.
I wonder if that's some of Theo's jokes rubbing off on him a little bit there.
And so he ground off the bad stuff, and he still had enough to dry out to make the length. Moving on to Isaac, he attached his work stick to a steel on purpose so that he doesn't accidentally leave the steel in the fire for too long. So he welded his work stick on there, and Dave Baker's like, he's going to be stuck there the whole time. He can't leave. He can't go to the pantry if he needs supplies. Like he has to stand right there because he can't just leave it because it would just fall over.
Yeah, right.
So the work stick's so long. Well, Isaac says, I did that on purpose so like I wouldn't accidentally leave it in there and burn it up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm there the whole time watching it. And then when he cut it off, they're like, oh yeah, good. I'm glad he cut that off. Like, yeah, he's like, all right, well, I did what I had to do. Now I'm, I cut it off. I knew what I'm doing.
Oh, Dave Baker.
Moving on to John. He forges his blade. Didn't have much length left on the tang, so he had to do this like a hidden tang. He only had about that much on there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And moving on to Angel, the judges think the knife is a little small for the test it will undergo, like kind of thin. And Angel's like, all right, so I'm ready to grind. Oh, but it's too hot, so you just put it in a water bucket to cool it off so that he can handle it when he's grinding. And it's just like, oh no.
Oh, so had he already quenched it?
No,
he hadn't quenched it
no.
yet. And then he took this hot.
It was hot and he had it like on his anvil. And he was like, all right, I'm ready to grind. Oh, it's too hot. Let me cool it off in the water bucket. And and I think Dave was like, 5160 does not like to be quenched in water like that. He's like, it'll crack and won't be happy. So anyway, moving on to judging. So for Justin to say it looks good, it feels good in the hand. For Isaac to say it has a good shape, but there was a slight bend at the tip. For Jonathan, the blade looks good. The handle could be an issue because of his tang. And for Angel, he said it's a lean blade and has some minor surface cracks on there. And Angel ended up getting a boot. It was the leanest blade of the group, and the surface cracks could indicate further issue.
Right.
There weren't many. It was very, very like hairline, but they were there. You can see them.
And yeah, you don't know until you really grind through them if they're going further down. For round 2, they were given pantry materials and a wheelbarrow of bricks. And they must use some part of the wheelbarrow and include a guard.
Not a lot of notes in here because not a lot happened. I mean, they're just working on handles.
They just worked on handles, so there's not really any notes here except for Isaac, where he wasn't sure how to put a guard on his knife since it was a full tang design.
And he had that block. He had a block of wood. He was trying to like cut and shape to kind of fit up in there, and he had some struggle, but he ended up getting it. And then he had to pin it this way instead of this way because he couldn't drill through the tangs. It was hard.
Right.
So he put pins going, like, I guess, vertically or whatever from the guard into the handle scales, which was different.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Pretty neat.
Interesting. And so for testing, they had the strength test. There's the wheelbarrow smash. For Jonathan, the edge took some damage. The handle was comfortable, but it did want to roll in your hand. For Isaac, there was no damage, but he would like a better guard on it. And then for Justin, the edge rolled and the handle near the guard is very rounded and it wanted to roll a lot during the test. For the sharpness test, it was the construction sign slice. Jonathan, his punctured and cut easily. It will cut. For Isaac, it was a possible chip at the tip, but it was still a very sharp edge. It will cut. And for Justin, he had a very sharp edge. It will cut. So, with that, the judges decided that Justin gets the boot because the handle wasn't as good as the competitors that he was up against.
Yeah.
And he took it in stride, and he actually posted about that today, saying he agreed with the judges and respected their decision to send him home there, and he hopes to be able to go back, I'm sure, and prove himself.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be a great contender for like a redemption episode or something, and I'd definitely like to see more of his work.
Yeah.
So we move on to round 3.
Round 3, the Boar Sword. It was designed for the hunt, originated in 16th century Germany, had a long reinforced blade with a spear-like head, was built for thrusting and to withstand the charge of a boar. It featured a crossguard to prevent the boar from sliding down the weapon and injuring the user. And it had to be flambeer style and have a minimum of 4 waves, a crossguard, and a crossbar between 5 and 6 inches in length.
Okay, so it's a little complicated there.
Yeah, it was kind of weird looking. It had the flambeers, had the little guard, then you had this long like piece of metal, and then you had the handle. It was different looking. So for day one for Isaac, he's going to 80 CRV2. He was working on the waves. It's not an easy thing to do.
No.
But he started to get them. On day two, he had an issue getting the large blade into the grinder because it was hitting the ceiling in his basement. So he had to cut a hole to clearance the thing and to go through his workbench. And then he had an issue with the crossbar interfering with getting a blade into the forge to heat up for the quench. And then he quenched. Day three, he had an issue with the torch tempering. And had to go for a second quench. So he was tempering with this little propane torch.
Yeah. And
he over-tempered it, so he took the hardness out of it. So he had to go for another quench. And then he was doing another temper, and he had a heat gun, and so he made sure not to over-temper.
Yeah. It's tough to have to temper it that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than when you're using a freaking kiln where you toss it in for an hour after it's quenched,
For John, on day one, he plans to get at least half of the sword forged, but I don't think he got as far as he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
On day three, he went for heat treat. He borrowed a 5-burner forge and put his 2-burner underneath to get the blade ready for the quench. So he stood this 5-burner vertical, put his underneath it because he had the whole thing.
And he did a vertical heat treat.
He heated up vertical so he could do the quench.
Yeah.
And he got a slight warp, but he took it out really quick.
But that's very smart because you think about like the even heat kilns that we saw where they do the vertical hanging of it, and that eliminates the side to side potential for warping in the blade. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. On day 4, he gets his handle fitted up and gets it sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
So then moving on to the testing. We have the kill test, the Boar Carcass Assault. And for John, it had good balance and was sharp. It will kill. For Isaac, it was light and easy to control. It will kill. Then moving on to the strength test, the sheet metal stab. For John, the blade was still sharp. The tip did get slightly flattened.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. For Isaac, it took a bend and lost some of the tip. And then for the sharpness test, it was a deer hide stab and slash. John, the edges were sharp. It will cut. Isaac, he had trouble piercing the hide, but the edges were still sharp. And during that test, the blade ended up getting straight.
It bent back
straight. However, Isaac got the boot because his blade took a bend during the testing.
Yeah. So it kind of shows that it maybe wasn't properly heat treated.
Yeah, so because that last quench, because the cross guard was hitting the top of his little quench tank, he couldn't get it all the way in.
Yeah.
So it just got up to the cross guard, and that's where it bent, like right ahead of it.
That sucks.
So...
Well, congratulations to our friend Jonathan.
Yeah.
Of he goes by LEDY. Let me do that again. He goes by LEDLYL Knives on Instagram, which I believe that means live every day like your last.
Oh.
I didn't know that at first, but that's what that is. So check him out. Check out everybody else. Justin the Blacksmith.
Live every day like your last? What the hell am I doing here?
Oh, thanks.
Shit.
What am I, chopped liver?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
What am I drinking this beer for? This summer ale with a lobster on it. the feet in the back. I should be drinking some whiskey, doing some gambling or something.
Or riding your bike.
Yeah.
Out there,
what am I doing in his basement?
I don't know. People expect us to do this show.
You can't live every day like it's your last.
That's true.
I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm not going to just like... I mean, if I had that mentality, I'm there. I'm not going to be there.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. Anyway, congratulations to Jonathan Caruso on your win. And we will take you up on that offer soon to forge out of your shop sometime, hopefully in the coming months.
Very nice.
So,
what's next?
That is the episode. Now a word from our sponsor.
And we're back.
Yes, we are back with Tales from Infinite Forge.
Okay.
You got anything this week, Sean?
I don't think I really have much.
Nothing?
No, not really.
Well, it's busy.
I could do a PSA for checking the fluids in your vehicles.
Checking the fluids in your vehicles?
Yeah.
Did you have any issues with that?
I went for a motorcycle ride on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
And I was letting it warm up, and I have to go break down anatomy of my motorcycle, there's a primary drive that connects the engine and the transmission together, and there's a chain inside, and it's fluid filled, and there's a cover that comes off so you can adjust your clutch and stuff. Usually metal. I bought an aftermarket one. It's got a little window in it, so I could see what's going on in there. You can see things turning, and you see fluid like splashing around.
Yeah.
Well, I bought that because I had like a small like fluid leak. So it had been getting low and stuff, and I would check it, and I'm like, oh, it's really low. So I was like, this would be easy. That way I don't have to take the cover off every time I want to look and check it. So as it's warming up, I'm seeing nothing splashing around in there. I'm like, I don't know. So I got the flash out, I'm looking in there. I'm like, I don't really see anything. Let me just take the 5 minutes to pop this off, keep myself safe. So pop it off. All right, I need to top it off. I can't see much fluid in there. So I have a container of fluid. It takes the whole damn jug, like a quart.
Oh my gosh.
And it shouldn't have. So it was really low, and I'm glad I did it, because if that thing got completely dry, like the clutches would have locked up, like it could have been bad.
Oh yeah.
It could have been a really bad ride. So I'm glad I did that. So, change your oil, check your fluids, stuff like that.
Yeah, keep an eye on your fluids in your automobiles.
Yes.
Well, for me this week, I did take some time. Actually, this was last Thursday. It was the last time I got out to the shop. But we recorded before that, so we didn't even talk about it. I took a vacation day so I could take some time to do some work in the shop. And first off, I took my angle grinder, put a cup brush on there, and went to work on my anvil. Yeah. Because it had been covered in rust, and it's not as covered in rust now. Yeah. I actually got part of it. A lot of it was really shiny afterwards, and I did a nice coating of some boiled linseed oil afterwards to kind of help maintain it a little bit. That anvil is going to need to be resurfaced, I've found out, because the top is just pitted.
It's too pitted,
It's too pitted. So I can still use it, but it does do weird things to the texture of the stuff you're working on. I will say it's a very hard goddamn anvil, because it chipped one of my hammers when I accidentally missed the piece that I was hammering. I hit the anvil, and I looked down, and the cross peen of the hammer had a chip gone.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I was not happy about that, and maybe part of that's because these were hard hammers. Like the Swedish style cross peen is maybe a little bit harder than some of the hammers I'm used to, and so maybe it was a little more brittle as well. So then when it came into contact with the anvil, it broke. I can fix the hammer, I'm sure. It was just a little. It was weird because I'm hammering, trying to stretch some metal out, and all of a sudden I noticed the same pattern showing up on the blade.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I look down, and it's a divot.
It's your whole new maker's mark.
No, it just looked like crap. So I was like, fuck. So, you do what you can. Anyway, I did end up getting, I think I was working on 4 different things throughout the day. A couple horseshoes that I was working on making the hooks, and then a couple blades, 2 blades, and 1 kind of letter opener with a blacksmith style handle, of knife like style handle. None of them are pretty. It's like the first, you're talking about like knives 3, 4, and 5 that I've ever forged out. So they're still rough.
Yeah.
And I did do a video afterwards where I took one of those knives and I put it in Photoshop, and I designed potential blades that could be made from this one piece of metal. And then I actually had people vote on it, and I got a number of responses, choosing the designs that they liked. So I really appreciate everybody that took the time to watch that video and pick a design. I really appreciate it. That it's helpful to me to get an idea of what people like, and to get feedback. I heard a little bit of feedback from Spicy Mike on the.
It wasn't very positive.
No, I put this thing at the end of the video I posted on YouTube that was like, choose your favorite. And, choose one of the 4 styles. And Spicy Mike goes on and he goes, how about none? I was like, damn, dude.
Give you a hot take.
Give me a hot take. How about none? Because you could have forged that blade much bigger because it's super thick. I'm like, it's like knife number 4, dude. Sorry. It's knife number 4. That's as far as it's going. But anyway, I have had issues with my forge recently, and I got so fed up with it the last time that I went and I bought a 100-pound propane tank.
Yeah, you did.
And got that bad boy filled up.
Yeah?
And
you changed the valve out and everything?
Well, here's the thing.
Huh?
I went to multiple stores looking for an adapter for that type of tank that has an internal, basically a male thread adapter to go to the grill style adapter that you see on propane tanks, or like attaching your grill to a propane tank, because that's how the burner of the forge works. It has one of those bigger ones that you turn on. Well, Home Depot, Lowe's, none of them. Even though I went to these I went to the propane tank places first, where they give you the gas. I said, hey, you got this adapter? No. You go to a home goods store, you'll get it. No, not anywhere near us in Connecticut will you find it, because I looked online. Nobody had it in stock. Amazon had it. And I one day shipped that shit, and it showed up at like 5 o'clock that night, long after I was done for the day, and I had to go like take care of some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I still haven't actually installed those adapters yet, because I haven't gotten a chance to go back out there. I just used one of my other propane tanks that I had, and the issue that I was having before, where it was freezing, I was like trying to figure out what could possibly be going wrong, and I noticed while I was working. Yeah, right where the nozzle, the nozzle, the
handle,
the knob to turn to let the gas out on the tank, it was getting really freaking cold and it was out in this like the heat of the day during the summer, but it was getting cold, and so I was like, shoot, and like I knew that this was the warning sign that if I let this continue going this way, it's going to freeze up. Yeah. The flame's going to back up into the intake holes of the burner itself. So I was like, you know what? It's really cold. Why don't I just hold it for a little bit and let the heat from my hands warm it back up? And because I was waiting for the metal to heat up anyway at that point. Right. And so I stood there for like 2-3 minutes, held on to it. It warmed up. I didn't have any problems with it at all.
Careful you don't get frostbite from that.
It wasn't quite that cold. It wasn't like my hand was sticking.
It can get there, though.
Oh, I'm sure it can. Yeah. But it didn't get there. By the time I started holding on to it, wasn't quite cold enough to get frostbitey. But I kept it running.
Warmers. Put some hand warmers on it.
You could. It's not terrible, I mean, it's not like it's going to explode or anything. No. So I'm sure it's fine. I don't know. Either way, I managed to get to work, which is good. Now I can, I was able to get a good couple hours. I got about 3 hours of work in on the forge that day before I went and mowed the lawn and a couple other things. But it was fun. It was a good experience to finally get uninterrupted time to forge some stuff out. So yeah, that was my forging time this week.
Cool. Good.
We'll move on. Yeah. That was our Tales from Infinite Forge.
Oh, I had a bat in the house this week.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It swooped down, then it flew upstairs.
Oh, no.
And it was hanging on the door, and then we had my father-in-law come over, and I got like the storage bin out, and we trapped it and put it outside.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think it got in? Just through the door?
I think it came through the attic.
The attic.
Because the attic door is cracked open like that much. And all of a sudden there was a bat in the house. So that door is closed.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
When I was in freshman year of high school at my parents' house, it was middle of summer. My parents didn't have AC. It was like a super hot, 85-degree night and super humid. Windows were open, with screens. And it was me and my little sister sitting on the couch at 9 o'clock at night watching TV, dying of heat, the heat. And wouldn't you know it, a fucking bat flies straight at me on the couch. Well, it was in the curtains or something. It must have come in through a door, and we don't know how it got in. But it flew around our living room, and we freaked out. Yeah. And my mother and my older sister were upstairs watching TV or talking in my mother's room. And so all of a sudden, they hear me and my little sister yelling, "There's a bat in the house!" And we don't know what to do. Yeah. So we run upstairs, and we close all the doors, and we go back downstairs, and it's gone.
Yeah.
We don't know where it went. We went looking around for it, couldn't find it. So we all went to bed and closed the door, just slept in our rooms with the doors closed for the night. And then the next day, after my mother got home from work, my dad was on a business trip. me and my mom walked around, and my uncle had let us borrow a fishing net.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? A fishing net is a very big hold net because it's catching fish. So we're walking around, and you know what? We go. It was in the curtains when it flew at us before. So I grab one of the curtains and shake it, and would you know, a bat falls right into the ground and just lands there. It doesn't go anywhere. It just because it was the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And so it lands on the ground. I put the net on it. It goes right over it. It doesn't hold anything. I was like, well, shit, this net was stupid. So we had a towel, and I just tossed the towel on top of it, and then I just bunched it up and carried it outside. But man, it's something. When those bats start flying around your house,
it's no joke.
It freaks you out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a little blast from the past there. So what's next? We have our gram scan.
Gram scan.
Yeah. So this week, our main topic of conversation again is the straight razor challenge. This time, it's over.
It's over. It's done.
We just posted, did a live stream actually, announcing the winner. So we're not going to say it here. Go check out that video.
Yeah, check that out.
I'll probably post the live stream up on our YouTube as well, so you can find it on the YouTube channel if it goes off of Instagram Live, because it's only going to last for 24 hours. This might not even be up by the time it's not on the Instagram anymore. So look for that on our YouTube channel. Yep. Another Instagram scan I wanted to talk about is actually something I saw on Instagram, and I decided, that's pretty freaking cool. I kind of would like to have that.
What'd you see?
Well, as you can tell, we have a new bit of set piece scenery up here.
Yep.
Not that.
Not this?
Not this. Not this. This is my working stuff.
We talked about the sticker board.
We talked about that last time.
Yep.
I'm talking about this great American flag in the back here. This was made by Gene Hodges of Liberty Forge USMCs on Instagram. He'd been posting about these things that he's been making, and he makes a couple different sizes. And when I saw Tyler Hackbarth, when he was posting some photos on his account, he actually had one of these in the background that he had ordered from Gene. And I was like, man, those look so cool. I mean, so you can see this thing. I'll take it down so we can get a little closer to the camera. It's got a nice, cool finish to it, like the burnt finish. It's really beautiful, man. And it came out great.
Out great.
Don't
let it touch the ground.
No, of course not. We here at Fans of the Forge, we're fans of the USA.
Yes, we are.
The greatest country in the world. And so I thought this would be a great set piece to have in our studio.
That's good. Yeah, it's a great piece to have in the studio.
So
I don't know if anyone heard what you were saying while you're away from the mic.
You can hear it. Don't worry about it. So thanks again to Gene Hodges. It's a great piece. You can go buy those through his Instagram. Just send him a DM or look him up on Facebook or wherever else. And get your own. Because he makes some cool stuff. He makes a lot of other stuff too. Never mind knives and things. So cool dude.
Yeah.
And I was happy to get this. I also actually posted a video this week on my personal Instagram of when this was delivered.
Oh, that's that video. That's what that was.
I posted a video that my security camera caught of this being delivered, where a guy just walks over and hucks it onto the stairs. And
just flop
right on. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. That could have been a TV or something, but okay.
Small TV.
Either way, is a flat. It could have been a flat screen TV for all you knew.
I've used that thing. Well, all right, I won't shit on your point too much. Yeah, stop throwing boxes around delivery, guys.
It's kind of crazy. But anyway, thanks again, Gene, and I think this is a great addition to the studio. So
yeah,
that's what that is.
Looks good, just like our banner.
Oh yeah,
Fans of the Forge.
Many people might not know that we even have this banner. We had this made when we went to the Pigeon Forge Grudge.
That's right. It's been around for a while,
and we haven't really done anything with it since then. And I was like, you know what? Why let this thing just sit on the floor? And recently, we've kind of decided that people seem to be confusing us with another group out there called Friends of the Forge.
We're not them.
We're not the Friends of the Forge. We're the Fans of the Forge, and we just wanted to make that clear.
We all like the Forge.
Yeah, I guess we do. But anyway, that's our banner. I figured I'd throw my blacksmithing apron and stuff back here, kind of make more of a set, the green screen stuff's kind of been getting stale for me. So I was like, let's change it up.
I like it.
So that's the Gram Scan. I don't think we had anything else. Except me and Sean both got some pretty dope haircuts this week from our buddy Mitch.
Yeah.
He just started working in a new shop. If you're Connecticut based, you can find it as Tommy Ray's in West Hartford, Connecticut. Right. And yeah, Mitch does a mean little haircut, and he's our buddy. So go check him out.
Mitch Westcott.
Barber.
Or
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
On the gram.
So that was our Gram Scan. And I don't know if we have anything else.
I don't think so, man. We covered beer, the show.
How's your beer going so far? Is it
I'm
good?
almost gone. Yeah, it's good.
This was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, not bad for, foot fetish and umbrella fetish and lobster fetish. It's all there.
It's all there. You're not lying. Okay.
Yep.
That's the episode, everybody.
That's it. I'm sorry. We'll talk about feet.
We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Remember to like, subscribe on the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Audio podcast is available if you only want to listen and don't want to look at our beautiful mugs. And that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you guys next week.
See ya.